Pro Wrestling Magic fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Kingdom Come Rock and Roll All Night was an awesome show and a great way for Pro Wrestling Magic to cap off 2018. The night begins, to my surprise, with the keys to the Kingdom finals as MV Young defeated the Meadowlands Monster, Jason Carrion, and Hoos Traplash to win the keys to the Kingdom, and as a result, he gets a shot at, I don't know if it's a shot at the heavyweight title. He can challenge for any championship he wants within the next year, even if it means wait until next year's Kingdom Come, if he's that patient. After the match ended, Meadowlands Monster gave Traplash the pump handle power slam. Next, we were to another surprise which shocked me. It turned out that next was the TLC match. American Murder Society comes to the ring, and followed by the challenging teams of Meat on a Mission, Hot Dog Starks and Cheeseburger, and the Psycho Drivers, Smiley and Everett Cross. Prior to the match, ring announcer Scotty Cerruti announced to the crowd that AMS member Steve Off, one half of the Tag Team Champions, was not medically cleared to wrestle, and as a result, John Tella had taken his place. Tella and Stephen J. Higgins were told, you could stay at ringside or go to the back. You just can't that Off could not be in the matchup. So I don't know if they were sitting nearby or they did go back through the curtain. Because at one point, Off and Higgins tried to come to the ring, but they were stopped by Team Espana. Meat on a Mission got eliminated first. And then I forgot what I know. Smiley speared John Tella through a table. Aaron Bradley was on the floor. He's getting into it with Shane Fair. And I don't know if Aaron took a swing, but Shane ducked. And Trixie, who was wearing a mask, spit green mist in Bradley's face. And Everett gave Aaron a Tombstone Piledriver. Smiley hits a 450 splash and scores a pinfall. And the Psycho Drivers win the Tag Team Championship. Had they failed to win the belts, they would have had to split up. After the match ends, Steve Off takes the microphone. He says, hey, a win is a win, but, let's see if you guys can beat us when I'm healthy, and issue the challenge for a tag title match at Pro Wrestling Magic on January 19th as they kick off their 2019. Next up, we see the Messiah of Old School, Sean Donovan, defeated the Big Steel, Craig Steele. Steele was initially going to wrestle John Tella, but Tella was placed in the tag title match instead, so that's who replaced Tella on the show in the match with Steele. Next up, we saw Adam Payne defeat DeMarcus Kane and Mitch Valent to retain the Dark Arts Championship. After the match ended, DJ Hyde, who Payne has been calling out for months, hits the ring, attacks Payne with a chair, and then Hyde takes the microphone and he berates Payne for challenging him online. And then Payne gets up, they start brawling, and then security comes out, which brings out Stephen J. Higgins and announces that Payne and Hyde will go one-on-one for the Dark Arts Championship on January 19th. Next, in a great singles matchup, the notorious 187 Homicide defeated Josh Briggs. Those two really meshed well in there together, and Briggs has a great future in wrestling. At that point, they did go to intermission, and many wrestlers were out and about with trying to sell their merchandise and all. I don't understand, during intermission, Aaron Bradley, he gets on a Heartbreak Jake's case, and, I think he threw a cup at him, and Aaron Bradley yells at him, pick it up! I don't know. I mean, I thought they were done picking on him for that after what happened prior to Not for the Innocent back in September. Many wrestlers were out and about during intermission. During intermission, I did get a beer. I don't understand why the gentleman working the pickup window, I asked him what kind of bottle of beer do you have, and he shows what's on display, and I told him I like Coors Light, and he took the beer bottle and poured it into a plastic cup. I don't know why, unless they don't want any broken glass getting on the floor during the shows and shit. But the action resumed as we saw women's action as Katrid defended the women's championship against Nikki Adams. And during At some point in this matchup, looked like Catred accidentally hit the referee while Stephen J. Higgins grabbed the referee's leg, and the referee called for the bell and disqualified Catred, but Nicky Adams wins the match, but not the women's championship. And by the way, is it me, or did that particular referee look a little like John Tella? I know they're not one and the same. Next up was the Jersey Street Fight, as the former Down Boys faced each other in the return bout from Shout Out Loud last month, as the Jersey Muscle Jock Steve Gibke defeated Tony Vicenta. Or is it Vincita? I can't even forget how that's spelled or pronounced. But after the match, Tony gets the microphone. He offers a reconciliation with Steve about maybe being the Down Boys again. Steve takes the microphone and says, "No, we're not going to be the Down Boys again." But Steve announced that he and Tony are going to team up again and now call themselves the Jersey Muscle Society, and they want in the tag title match on January 19th. We'll see if that happens, folks. Next up was a 6-man tag team match in which the winning team, all 3 members of the winning team, would be in the 6-way match to crown the first ever Pro Wrestling Magic Junior Heavyweight Champion at the anniversary show in April. In the 6-man tag, it was Sebastian Cage, the Shamrock Shooter Killian McMurphy, and the Luchalicious Sonny Kiss, as he defeated Alan Lee Travis, accompanied by Sanjay, can't remember his last name, I know he's the promoter from the LDN promotion in England. They defeated Alan Lee Travis, TJ Crawford, and Anthony Green. As a result, Kiss, McMurphy, and Cage are the first 3 men to make the 6-way match in April to crown the first ever PWM Junior Heavyweight Champion. Then it was main event time as Presidente Sanchez challenged Dan Moff for the heavyweight title, and when Sanchez came out, it was a time for another session of karaoke magic. And Gail, kudos to you for going live with that and the whole matchup. And by the way, Gail, Bruno thinks you and I should do a video like this together someday. I know I did post on Facebook Saturday about maybe doing videos with have a guest, different guests after every show, but we couldn't do it this time because as I was getting everything together, and I'll have more on that a little bit later on, hopefully. Tremendous match between these two, and Moff managed to pick up the win as he hit a lariatal followed by a burning hammer to get the 3 count. But after the match, Moff takes the microphone and he tells Sanchez, if you want number 3, all you have to do is ask. And at that point, Moff leaves the ring, and Sanchez, I forgot if he took the mic or not, but he wanted the fans to come to the ring, and his entrance theme, which is Kiss's "I Was Made for Loving You," started playing, and man, Sanchez, I hope you stick to that song as the months go on and the shows go on in Pro Wrestling Magic. And I forgot to mention, prior to the matchup beginning, well, no, actually the match was already underway, Stephen J. Higgins had come out and he announced and told referee Nick Shin, you've done great, but you're done for the night. And I have a special referee picked out, and it was none other than the Messiah of old school, Sean Donovan. Now, at one point during the match, Donovan gave Sanchez a DDT, and Moff got on his case about it. And I forgot what happened with, I think Moff's head was up against Donovan, and Donovan, I don't know if he pushed Moff away, but Moff fell down. But after the match really had ended, and after Moff told Sanchez all he had to do was ask for number 3, Sanchez attacked Donovan, gave him a top rope stomp, and Sean Donovan was basically limp as a biscuit. And even after the show had officially ended and the cameras were turned off, and they started taking the ring down at that point. And I did notice someone from security was telling everybody to get out, and that's why we couldn't do the live recap with somebody after the show was over. I'm definitely not going to do it in the freezing cold outside the door. No darn way, folks. And while I'm on the subject of security, now, Lawrence and Bob are not the ones at fault here. But there was this one gray-haired, clean-shaven gentleman who I understand was at the SWF show in Totowa or Totawa, I'm not sure how you pronounce that town's name, and that and throughout most of the show, he was hovering over myself, Bruno, and Philip like a giant vulture. And, Philip did give me the dirt and juice on that individual, that he said that the fans are being rude and such. Last time I checked, we live in the United States of America. We got the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And I forgot what else Philip had told me about. Something involved Shane Fair at that SWF show in Totowa or Totawa. I can't even pronounce the name correctly. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Surprisingly, okay, well, it's the personal notes time. Surprisingly, we didn't have Mike McNicholas, and I'm even more surprised we didn't see Bill Parham or Jason Bob 87 at this one. But it was great seeing front row Mikey McIndro, Bruno, Philip, Shane Fair, welcome back, Elliot. Great seeing Gail, Pete, Jamie, Erica. I also remember seeing here Omar. I was hoping to get to the show a little sooner, but due to circumstances beyond my control, it did not happen. But I do want to say, even though I ate there before, Papa's Pizzeria at the corner of Queens Anne Road and Fort Lee Road, they got a great chicken Parmesan hero. Yum. I forgot to mention this part. Right after the women's title match, Stephen J. Higgins is arguing with front row Mikey McIndro, and McIndro shoves Higgins down. And security, I think that might have been Bob. He reprimanded Mikey about that. Okay, here are some memorable quotes. Santa Lottie. A lot of the guys, when I arrived in the building with my Santa Claus hat on. Where's your PMS shirt? Bruno to me when he said PMS instead of AMS. I know I left a comment for Steve off saying that I would like a shirt if you ever made one with yourselves on it, whether it's just you and Aaron Bradley or yourself, Aaron, Catron, and John Tella on it. I mean, as great as that AMS shirt looks, I do prefer wrestlers on the shirts. Throughout the night, there was some microphone trouble, by the way. Heartbreak Jake. He tried using it during intermission, and I forgot who else had trouble with it. And if anybody has trouble, Scotty Cerriti, any wrestlers on the roster, if you have trouble with that darn microphone, whether the switch is not working or the batteries go dead, hey, got my megaphone right here. You know where I'm at in the crowd practically. And speaking of which, Bruno, thank you, man. Thanks to you, I got to sit front row for this one. Again, Scotty Cerriti, any wrestlers want to grab the microphone before or after their matches, hey, if that mic's there's a trouble with the microphone, hey, you got this baby when I'm at the shows.
You're throwing away her stuff.
Okay. All right, well, Pro Wrestling Magic kicks off 2019 on Saturday night, January 19th. Already announced, Adam Payne defends the Dark Arts Championship against the Lariat DJ Hyde, and the second annual Chad Adams Rumble will be taking place. I don't know if this will be the same formula as the first Chad Adams Rumble, where the winner would get a shot at the heavyweight title at the anniversary show in April. I don't know if that'll happen again. Now, I would like to see on 119, Catron defend the women's title once again against Nikki Adams. I believe the Psycho Drivers, the newly crowned tag champions, are defending their belts against American Murder Society, Steve Off and Aaron Bradley. And I think I don't know if Jersey Muscle Society is going to be in that match as well. I would like to see El Presidente Sanchez go one-on-one with the Messiah of Old School, Sean Donovan. Would like to see... Obviously, one thing I do know will happen, there'll be another match where another I don't know if it'll be what kind of match it'll be, but obviously whoever wins this match will be added to the six-way match for the Junior Heavyweight Championship in April. Don't know the participants as of yet, folks. Another thing, Heartbreak Jake. Excuse me. I don't know what your problem is with Gail all of a sudden. For the second month in a row, well, I know at Shout Out Loud last month you were happy, said you were thrilled that Gail did not win anything, win any of the raffle prizes. And Gail, I don't know if this streak of you not winning raffle prizes is ever going to come to an end. And for those of you in the crowd always chanting, "You're not Gail," last I checked, Gail didn't look like a guy. Now, okay, for those who cannot make it January 19th, here's the show dates. The show dates that have already been announced for the year 2019. January 19th, February 16th, March 16th, April 20th, which is the anniversary show, May 18th, and June 15th. No word on the show titles yet, as of yet, folks. Great talking to Stephen J. Higgins after the show had ended. I know, Stephen, you said you were gonna like get me a beer at a show, but at least I did buy one during intermission. Yeah, I think I do need work on those live videos I do before the shows start. I know if I had gotten there sooner as I was trying to, I would do better. It would be better. Actually, you know something? When I did the extended version of the Pro Wrestling Magic song earlier this year, I forgot to mention somebody, so I may screw this up. So here goes nothing. Mikey McAndrew sits in the front row at every show. I may screw that up, and I know Shane Fair, your hope. I know you had a darn cream fest when you got on my live video. I know you're hoping and praying for more bits and pieces of the Pro Wrestling Magic's theme. But I may have to come up, now that I've come up with that version from Mick and Dro, I'm sure there's going to be more to come. I still wish Fernando would come back. I mean, I imagine he will when other promotions run in the building again in the new year. But definitely, Pro Wrestling Magic, they hit a huge home run with this. As I told Stephen J. Higgins after the show, it was better than last year's Kingdom Come. Interesting to see where the Meadowlands Monster goes from here, and also who Dan Mouth faces for the Heavyweight Championship in January. But definitely another great time at Pro Wrestling Magic. You just don't fail on anybody, do you, folks? So that will do it from here. And actually, you know what? Forgot to mention this. I wish there was a better way to get to these shows. I mean, better way to get to the shows or get home from the shows. See, after the show ended, I didn't want to wait for over an hour for the 11:48 p.m. 168 bus, which goes to New York City and stops across the street from the 7-Eleven. So I walked down a few blocks to the 167 bus, which was scheduled to show up at 11:28, but showed up 15 minutes late. NJ Transit hires lazy fucks to drive their buses, apparently. I wish there was a better way. It sucks. Too bad there's no train stations near the place, near the building. So again, Pro Wrestling Magic, kudos to an awesome 2018. Can't wait for what you're gonna do for 2019. And I'm wondering, since bodies are going to be needed for the second annual Chat and Rumble, is Heartbreak Jake going to be in it again and not last? And hopefully there'll be some cool surprises this time, because I don't know if it had 30 participants last time or not. So yeah, great show, and oh man, can't wait to come back. See you in January, PWM.